and it just means so much to me. So I'm very excited and honored to be on your show, and I can't wait to talk about everything you just said.
Oh my gosh. Well, I just want everybody that's just tuning in, this is Breast Cancer Month. So I thought it was appropriate to have a guest on that I've known that survived breast cancer, uh, because I know a lot of you may know someone that has breast cancer. You may have it. You could possibly get it in the future. And I just want to support all women out there, but also just looking at it too versus, I don't know, a disease, like an obstacle. And I just want you to talk about when you got the news, how it affected you, and what was your mindset like at the very beginning when you got the news?
Okay, so I was in the process of starting Kelley's Bootcamp for women. And a friend of mine was opening a gym. And so I said, hey, can I teach some classes? And he said, sure, as long as it's really early. And I said, no problem. So, I put together my program. I was so excited. And right around the first couple classes, I got that diagnosis. So everything happened all at once. And here I was going to be this coach and teach women and lead them to being healthy and fit. And here I was getting the diagnosis, the coach. So when I got that phone call, I had found a lump on my breast, and I got the phone call, and I honestly thought it was nothing. I actually ignored the lump for 3 months. That's not a lie. Not a lot of people know that.
It's denial, right?
Yes. And I just, honestly, I just said, I'm so healthy. Nothing's wrong with me. What the,
That's exactly what I would have said.
right? Because, we're working out, we're doing all this stuff. I was eating pretty good at that point. Not as clean as I do today, but I just didn't think anything. And so I forgot about it. I put it on the back burner. So I finally went in, I went for the biopsy, and I'm driving one day with my little baby in the back seat, and the doctor told me on the phone, I got the phone call, and he said, are you okay to talk right now? And I'm like, yeah, of course I am. Not thinking he was going to tell me and say those dreaded words, breast cancer, on the phone. But he did. And I froze, and I drove right to my husband after I got myself together. And yeah, I mean, it hit my core to a point where nothing else hit me like that. It was honestly like I was drowning. But like I told you, at the same time, I was starting a business, and I was always very excited about everything I've done in the past. When it comes to, I've started a few other businesses in the past, network marketing companies. And so I couldn't wait for my next challenge, which was Kelley's Bootcamp. So for me, it set me back. It knocked me out. I mean, I was on the ground for a few days, and I had to make a decision, which was extremely hard, of what I was going to do. Am I going to just drown or am I going to swim and keep my face afloat and keep my business where I wanted it to go and lead these women and train them? And so I decided to focus on that. And I said, you know what, I'm going to put all my energy into creating workouts and helping others and helping women succeed while I'm going through my treatment. So I wanted them to see me, a strong woman, to know that if I can do it, they could do it. And that's really where I was coming from, honestly. I've always been super independent. Nothing could get me down. When things happened in my life, nothing of this, immense. I mean, this was one of the peaks of an obstacle, if you want to call it. But I just knew it wasn't over for me, and I was going to fight it, and whatever happens was going to happen, and I wasn't giving up. And I wanted everyone around me, my family. I wanted to be strong for my parents, my kids, my husband. And I didn't want them to see me, not fighting. I wanted to show them that I can do this. And I didn't want them to lose control either. And I wanted them to know how strong I was. So that's what I did.
Wow. What was the reactions from your family members at the time?
Oh, yeah, it was rough. I
Yeah.
mean, my
With the
husband,
kids.
yeah, my daughter, my daughter was like, I believe she was around, geez, 11. My son was a baby; he was 2. So, well, my daughter must have been 9 then. And my husband, and I'm an only child, so my parents only had me. I mean, they were devastated, but my parents are the strongest people I know in this life. So they didn't show me any of that side, which I'm so thankful to this day because I needed them to be strong so I could be strong. And, my husband and I just kind of talked about things every day and what we're going to do and it's going to be okay. And he reassured me every second that I'm going to be okay. And that gave me the strength as well because he's my rock. So I'm very blessed.
Wow. Now, give me a glimpse of you've got the news, you've made your decision, and then reality strikes and you're teaching your classes, building your business, and you're having chemotherapy.
I was having radiation. I
Oh,
had
okay.
daily, yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah.
I was very blessed, but I had daily radiation. And I just, they said you were going to get tired. And I did. Um, in my class, like I told you, it was 5 a.m., but I still got up. I still showed up and I just put on you know, my strong face, my Wonder Woman face. And I was going in there and I just kept going. Once I got over that moment, the crying, which honestly, I didn't let it take me down. I just said, you know what, I'm going to get myself together. I'm going to keep going. I didn't really look back. Honestly, I can honestly say I went through the radiation. I did what I had to do every single day, like it was a job. And I just tried not to think about it. I sat in a room every day with women going through breast cancer and on all levels. And I would look around the room and know that, we're all in here fighting. And I would just walk out and I'd say, you know what, I'm a strong woman and I'm just going to keep going. And that was my attitude. I just didn't want it to bring me down.
Yeah, I kind of think like you almost acted like you didn't have it
Yes,
still, right? Which
yes,
is part of the
exactly.
secret, I think, to going through it is to keep going with your life
Mhm, mhm.
because otherwise it's just depressing, right? What are the most depressing moments that you felt when you were going through this?
Well, right. It was like you said, I had to pretend I didn't have it or else I was getting depressed. And I kept thinking, oh my gosh, is it going to come back? What's going to happen next? Is it my daughter? I mean, I have a child, every scary thought would cross your mind because it's breast cancer. This is a real disease that's killing hundreds of thousands of women, unfortunately. And here I am wanting to jump into this fitness business and be the healthy girl. And it was just a disaster for me in my mind. And like you said, you hit the nail on the head because one of my best friends to this day says it. She says, Kelley, you pretended you never even had breast cancer. And I guess that's what I did because I couldn't live in that space of, feeling sorry for myself. I just couldn't be there or else I wouldn't get out of it. So I had to, put those feelings on the back burner that I had and say, okay, I'm ignoring you. I'm ignoring those feelings. And that's what I had to do. And it was hard, but I don't know. That's just how I roll.
I think it's so essential when you're going through something tough like that because I think we're used to as women, or I don't know, in our role being somebody that's maybe leading a boot camp, being the strong and the tough one, to be able to realize that you can reach out for help and that you do need support from others when you're going through something like that. what type of support system did you have around yourself?
I honestly, an aunt had it, so I would reach out to her, but it was really just my family. I leaned in on them. And like I said, my husband is my everything. He was every minute of the whole entire ordeal. He was just right there by my side, holding my hand.
Oh,
I honestly, I didn't need anything more than that. He gave me everything I need, along with my parents, my best friends. They were right there with me. But that's, I'm not really a big talker, so I really didn't want to talk about it. I kind of just moved on, did my thing, and almost acted as if I
like you
wasn't,
didn't have it at all.
I didn't have it at all. And I was not going to be a victim, and that's for sure.
Now, as you're proceeding along, you're teaching your classes, you're getting through this. Um, when did you when did you get through it and they've said you have no longer got it? How long
Right.
was that process?
So, it was probably 3 to 5 months of all this. And they put me on a medicine. That was another thing I was upset about. They said, Kelley, you have to go on a medicine for the next 5 to 6 years. I'm like, oh my, every day taking a pill, which I said, okay. I said, if that's the least of my worries, I'm going to do that. And I just kept moving through. So I was building my boot camp. I was on the medicine, and the boot camp was going well. Because I started with just 12 girls that I called personally. Hey, do you want to take a class? Let's see how this goes. And they loved it. That's really how it started. And I just kind of asked around, would anybody want to, work out with me and take a class? And I'm going to teach you, how to get in shape. And they loved it, and it grew, and more people, they told their friends. So through all that, that was my strength as well, because knowing these girls that I was making a difference built me up. So the more women that they were telling, and more new girls would come into my class, that made me so excited that I just said, I have to get stronger. I have to get faster. I have to do everything that I can to keep this body as active and as healthy as it can be, because I'm never, ever getting that diagnosis again. So I just kept going with my business. And 10 years later, here we are today. And here
I
I
love that. I love that. Through this, so the strength of helping others is what really helped
am.
you through, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. That's why
Wow,
I'm
I
here
love that.
today. And my goal, like you said about in the beginning, my mission is just to help one woman a day find her strength.
What would you say your message is to all women out there then through this ordeal and just building your business?
Really, just that struggle is inevitable, and we're all going to go through, whether you call breast cancer a struggle, or a death in the family, or a tragic event, or an obstacle, whatever word you want to use. It's going to happen to everybody. We cannot escape that. So you either can put your big girl shoes on, swim above the water, or you can drown in your misery, in your sorrow, and stay there. And then where's your life going to be if you do stay there? So my mission, I guess what I want to tell all women is, if you know that you're going to go through struggles, which we all don't want to face those, but we do know that we're going to go through them. We have to just, we just have to, we have to just stay focused. That's my
That
mission.
was good. That was
Thanks.
good. I
Thank you.
love that. I love
Thank
that.
you.
Now let's dive into Kelley's boot camp.
Okay.
What I would just love to come take a class. So run me through a virtual class and what that would be like and how I'm going to feel at the end.
Okay. So I have a schedule. We always do legs and booty because, it's Kelley's Boot Camp for women. So I target women's bodies different than I would a man. So we work on our booties. One day we do upper body strength, and I do a total body. So I always include HIIT sessions in those classes. So they're, lifting weights then maybe a 30-second interval of getting their heart rate up. I'm really all about keeping it different every class. I hardly repeat a class, to tell you the truth. Over 10 years, my girls keep coming back because it just never gets boring, because I'm so, I guess I could say, I fully engross myself into what's new, what's the latest, what works for me. And I try everything first before I give it to my clients. And if I'm sore as hell by the end of a workout, then I'm giving that workout right to my clients. So I make it fun. I have good music, and yeah, it's always different. So it's challenging your muscles is key.
And what is the secret for, I mean, you basically went from being in network marketing to building up your business. What would you say your secret has been to, I mean, what have you done to get yourself out there, get your name out there, and just grow your business?
Lately, over the last year, I would say I'm more on social media. So, I mean, it's unbelievable how we can market ourselves and doing live videos. I really just jumped into the live videos full on. Sometimes I didn't know what I was going to say, but I really just wanted to get my face out there as much as possible, because I go back to, targeting one woman a day and just giving advice on fitness and health. And maybe it's not even about exercise. It's about mindset and, the obstacles we go through. So I'm on live. I'm trying to be on live at least every day, every other day, saying something. And that's how I'm pretty much getting my name out there at this point. I worked on referrals for a long time, and I would put ads in different places. I would message people myself. It was really me just getting out there and contacting people as much as I could.
One of the things I found interesting, because you're saying that now, like I also listened to you on, I think it was the
Networkers Quest podcast.
Quest. Oh, okay.
Yes.
They almost changed their name.
Oh no!
I was going to say the Network Voyager.
They're awesome. I loved that podcast.
Okay, the Network Quest. I used to work at the Quest, so I'll remember that now. Now, back to what I was going to say. Oh, I found it interesting when I was at the Summit of Greatness, which is my favorite podcast, is Lewis Howes' School of Greatness.
Love Lewis Howes.
He said, how many of you in the audience have I messaged or spoken to on Instagram and private messenger, or replied to your posts? And it was a huge number. There was 1,500 people there, you guys. Huge number of people raised their hands. And I can personally attest that I've spoken to him several times that way. So I really believe that in this world of social media and mass marketing, you can feel overwhelmed, but I like your approach, one woman a day, really, if you can just break it down to the people that you're helping and just reach out to the people that need you, that's how you're going to build your business. That's how he built his, and it's monstrous. Like, it's amazing. And I just think you've got to have a passion and a why and a belief in yourself about what you're doing. What would you say your greatest why is behind your business?
My greatest why is because I believe all women have strength inside, and some of them are just afraid to take the next step. And I just want to be that strength for women all over the place. I've been through so many obstacles in my own personal life. I mean, from breast cancer, my son born with hydrocephalus, my mom passed a year and a half ago, and she was my very best friend in the world. And yes, I wanted to die. And I know all these women out there that they need to know that they can do it. They can get healthy if they're overweight. Listen, it's a long road, and yes, you have to take it day by day, but you can get there. And I love being their coach, and I love being their cheerleader. So I really strive on community within my business. I strive on, connection, and I feel connection is key. I love the tribe, and so whenever I create a group or my boot camp, I have a lot of online programs, and I really believe in that connection, going on live Facebook. Do you guys have questions? What do you want to know? I put something out each day to get them thinking. So I like communication, and I think, that's the why. I think people want to communicate and they need the support, and I want to be that for them. So that's why I'm doing what I do.
Well, I truly love that, because I know when I started, I think I had this misconception that it was all about the workout. It's really not.
It's really not.
And like, I would just, and one day I thought, oh, it really isn't. I never have a hard time bringing a hard workout. That isn't it. It's about the connection and the connecting of people. And, and also how you get people results is not necessarily giving them the hardest workout.
Exactly.
You work on their why they're there, what they want out of it, and helping them on the inside first. That's when all the changes really truly happen on the outside. Don't you agree?
100%. I mean, we can all say that everybody can go in a gym and do a workout. That's honestly the easy part. I think it's the mindset. Like you said, it's really knowing what their deepest dreams are for themselves and where do they want to be. Are they so unhappy at the way they look? Well, let's start with the mind, and let's eat a good, some clean meals for a few days so you feel better about yourself. That's where it all begins. The workouts come second. I mean, they really do.
Wow, I love that. I love that. And since I was at the summit, I am just like full of all kinds of positive thoughts. And one of the things that I really loved that Shanti of Insanity said was, it isn't the weight that you need to lose, it's all the baggage that you're carrying. And the weight will fall off once you drop that baggage, right? So think about what it is inside that maybe you're facing or that you're carrying. Besides weight, guys. That would be my homework for you today.
Exactly. And one more thing on that topic that I have found, women hold on to stress, and sometimes they don't realize, but they're so stressed out about how they look, and they can't lose the weight because of this stress. And I'm telling you, ladies, once you can just accept where you are right now, and you take the step to your better self, whatever that step is, if it's eating cleaner, if it's taking the soda out of your diet, if it's stopping with the French fries, once you take that step, the stress level has to come down in order for you to actually get results. Because if you're holding on to such stress, don't you agree, Linda, that it's hard to really get to where you want to be and accept who you are if you have such stress about your looks? Does that make sense?
Well, sometimes I think it's just the fear of not being enough and not feeling enough. And it's coming out on the way we look or whatever, but it's just this lack of confidence in ourselves.
Right.
How do you help women build self-confidence? Because this is like my mission.
Well, I really take it, I really stress to my girls one day at a time. So building confidence, and I say this often, is like building, muscles in the gym. You're not just going to go in the gym one day, do a workout, and you're going to be ripped, because that doesn't happen. It takes a lot of practice, takes a lot of dedication, being consistent. So if you're trying to build confidence in yourself, well, you have to chip away at that every single day and do something that's going to, make you feel good every single day. So when I'm working on confidence, I say, take it one day at a time. Let's do something really awesome today. Post about it on our page. A small win, a big win, any kind of win you've had this week. Let's post it, work towards it. And little by little, they're building up their confidence. So that's really my angle in that.
How did you get the confidence to step on stage in a tiny little bikini?
Well, I just had a goal and I'm always, I need a new goal at all times, something I'm working towards. And that was just the next thing in my life. What am I going to do? I'm a fitness coach. Well, I work out every day. Great. Well, I need to do something. So I found Kathy Savage and
Yay, Kathy.
yay, exactly. And she just changed my life. I said, I'm going to do this fitness competition, but I didn't realize the teeny bikini behind the scenes until I was, I really didn't know much about it, honestly. I just, I'm going to do this fitness competition. And you know what? I really, actually, I didn't know anything about it at this time. It was 2012. And I signed up for for Savage Camp. And then my eyes were open to the whole thing and I was already in, like my mind was already in it. So I threw that bikini on and I didn't have a
And you
choice.
won. You won. Tell everybody what that was. How did you, I mean, you had to have a great mindset to become a champion 4 times. What is the mindset that you have had that you think took you to being this champion of women and also a bikini champion?
Well, I knew once they gave me my plan, there was no going back. So I'm the type of person that I love commitment and I love to challenge myself and see what I can do. I wanted to see what my body could do, what I was going to look like. I had the vision. So I worked really hard. I didn't cheat. I didn't come off that plan. I really didn't waver. And when I did win, honestly, when they were doing the awards, there was over 40 girls in my class. And I was like, well, I actually said this to myself. I'm like, this was a great experience. Not sure if I'll do it again, but I loved it. It was great. And then they called my name. So I was really, really shocked because I was such a rookie. But on the other side, I worked so hard that I just said, wow, my hard work paid off. Like,
I
this is what
love
you can
that.
do. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
you can, you work so hard. You don't necessarily need a trophy, but if you guys are out there and you're just working hard, you should just be so proud of yourself if you finished what you started. And that's what I did. And I wanted to finish what I started and I took it to the end and I did. I got the trophy. So I kept going. Kept going to the next show and the
What
next show.
ways do you feel like competing empowered you?
Well, it taught me more discipline than I ever had. So I felt empowered that I had control over the food instead of the food having control over me. So, when it came Friday night and everyone's having pizza and maybe going for ice cream, or if it's Halloween, that empowered me to know I went to bed and didn't have any. And so I would wake up the next morning so proud of myself. And, there were times, I'm not going to say it was great every moment, with competing. I mean, you're emotional. I mean, we're women and I did want an ice cream every now and again. And there were times when I probably shed a couple tears because I couldn't have it. But all in all, I felt that
As
was
we
very,
all do.
yes, exactly. And your emotions are running high when, you're on this plan and it's strict. But yeah, it does empower you because you really can look back at yourself and what you did in those 12 or 16 weeks of show prep and say, wow, I really was that disciplined. I didn't waver. And, I guess I felt I could conquer anything at that point. So that built up my confidence as well.
Well, I think we all need to be the champions in our own lives, no matter what you're facing out there, what obstacle you have to overcome, what relationship you're in, what job that you have that may suck right now, or whatever it is. I think the power of setting goals and then just setting that mindset
Mhm.
that you're going to get through it and overcome and just I really think setting goals is what gets you through obstacles. And
Mhm.
so we're all going to have them. We're all going to face them, but not feeling sorry for yourself and letting it take you down, like Kelley said, and pulling up those big girl panties and
Mhm.
stepping up to your challenges and facing them head on, I think is the secret to being a champion in your own life.
Absolutely. Definitely. And, you know, I want girls to know and women to know that it's okay to cry. You have to get it out and don't hold things in, because then again, you'll build stress up if you're going through something. I mean, let it out. But then when you let it out and let it out fully, that's when you need to stand up and make the decision that I'm going to move forward no matter what.
I love that. That is so good. So good. What would you like people to know about you that they may not know just looking at you?
Oh, okay. In what way? Like in my fitness business or?
Like from the about you personally
Oh, personally.
that I wouldn't know just looking at you.
Um, let's see. I'm a homebody.
Oh, I
Isn't
did
that
not
funny?
know that. Oh
I
my gosh, I
am.
love that.
Yeah, I know. I am. I've become a homebody. I used to be very much the girl with 5,000 friends, and no, I have my tribe, believe me, but I love being home and cozy with my family. I'm very family oriented, so my family is everything. And one funny fact about me is, and this is what people like laugh about, because I don't watch TV. So whenever I'm home, because I work from home, it's always quiet in my house with a podcast on. So
Oh, I love that. I'm such a big podcast like junkie.
I am a junkie. I am a podcast junkie. And I love it because I'm learning something new every single day. It can be one sentence and I'm like, wow. So I'm all about learning, and I feel TV doesn't teach me anything. So
Yeah, I love filling myself up with good things. And
yeah,
so I have really gotten into podcasting, and I love listening to books on Audible. And I'm going to do my book on Audible this weekend.
awesome. I'm very
I'm
excited about
super
that. I
excited.
can't wait.
So the only obstacle there, you guys, is going to be I have just been allowed to sit not very long, and I really probably overdid my sitting this weekend at the summit and on the way down to Columbus. I was really only allowed to sit maybe a week ago to start sitting from my hamstring reattachment surgery. So it's going to be the sitting. I may have to be like, can I stand and talk the Audible book?
You could. I bet you, or get one of those stability balls, and can you do something on that?
Yeah, I'll be rolling back and forth.
There you go.
Massage this out.
Oh
Um,
boy.
I keep thinking I'm gonna wake up from this and I don't know what it is. I keep thinking my leg's gonna feel better instead of the way it feels. And then I finally just realized when my leg feels better, it's just like when you felt better during breast cancer, surviving that. It's when I'm doing things normal, like, you know, going to the summit
Mhm.
or just, I don't know, like doing my upper body workout or whatever it is, when I'm doing my normal tasks rather than just resting my leg, I feel so much better.
Yeah,
Um, just, you know, living your life.
right.
But when I think about it, it's more like I keep thinking I'm going to wake up and this is going to feel better. But it just seems like I'm going to have to move forward for this leg to feel better.
Well, listen, what you think about, you bring about. So keep thinking those good thoughts. You're going to wake up feeling better. Tell yourself,
Ooh, I like that. That's a
yes.
great tweetable.
And honestly, keep saying it. I'm going to wake up feeling better.
I love it. I love it. I love
Yes.
it.
Yes.
What are 3 simple truths that you can leave with our audience today?
Okay. So, simple truth. I think I would say you really want to model the people you want to be like. That's a simple truth to me, because where I wanted to go in my business and the things I wanted to do, I had to find the people that were doing that already. So if there's people out there in their jobs or career, or maybe it's a marriage and they're looking at somebody else's marriage, and it could be
Ooh,
anything.
that's a great tip.
You know, yeah, it's not just about fitness or anything really. You just want, I think, modeling those people, and, you know, is really that have modeling people that have what you want, and asking them questions, or, you know, messaging those people, what do you do to get to where you are? And that's, does that answer
Right,
why?
because they're gonna know how to get where
Right,
you want to be,
right,
right?
right,
Don't reinvent the wheel.
right. Exactly. let's see. I feel like maybe don't do things on an island. Don't be alone doing things. Ask people for help. I know I said I work, we work alone, Linda, you and I, but being on an island can be lonely sometimes. So if you're looking for a new tribe of women, but you're scared to reach out, you have to overcome that and just get out of that comfort zone and reach out. There's so many groups on Facebook and you don't have to be alone. So getting involved and getting into different social groups, I think is so important. So important because people love community. And I just know we feed off positivity through each other, right? So I think support is key in
I've
everything.
certainly had to experience that recently, having to have help,
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many things I just couldn't do by myself. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't even shave my legs, you guys.
Mm-hmm. I
That
get
was
it.
crazy.
I get it.
But, and now today I succeeded. I don't even want to go about how I got to that, but I did get my right leg shaved.
Yay.
It
You
was
feel like
like,
it's an accomplishment.
it was such a huge one. Just
Oh,
getting my socks and shoes on the
I
right leg
know. The
has
thing.
been, I had to prop my leg up against a table to even get to my foot because it's so tight right now from the surgery. So,
Awful. I know.
but anyway, what was your third tip for people?
Um, I would say maybe everybody's good at something. And so practice and master what you're good at. Maybe something like, you're not going to reach greatness until you practice what you're good at. So whatever it is you're going for in life, I think just putting the time in and, just trying to master what you're good at.
I love that. That's
Okay.
perfect. That is so
Thank
good.
you.
That is
Thank
so
you.
good. And what are your goals in the future?
My goals in the future is to keep expanding my tribe of women and reaching more women through my programs, my online programs, and, just offering the community to these women to connect through, my monthly makeover programs that I call them. I think I'm going to say this out loud, but I'm working on a book.
I was like, oh, is she gonna say it or am I gonna have to?
Well,
Oh my God.
but it's a scary thing, but I've been writing for probably 6 months and it's just always been something I really wanted to do. And I'm just kind of tackling that right now. So I'm working on that because, everybody has a story and I'd love to get my story out there to inspire, motivate, and just give other women strength as we talked about through this whole podcast and let them know that if I can do it, I am no different than them. I am no different. And that is a fact. So I would just love to share that more and just let all women know that through health and fitness, you just got to keep going. Don't get down if you didn't lose the weight in a week. I mean, you have to keep going. So,
Well, I just want to acknowledge you so much for being such a fighter, first of all, and also just the fact that you have been such an inspiration to all women out there through your story and just the way you're living your life, that you care about others. It really shows. And I wish you well with your book and your boot camps. But somehow I just know you're going to be a success.
oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Where,
Thank you.
where can all the ladies out there reach you on social media?
So they can reach me on Instagram at Kelley Tyan and Facebook the same, Kelley Tyan. And my website, they can reach me through Kelley's bootcampforwomen.com. My name is spelled EY. So I don't know if that's in the show notes, but it's EY.
I did. I
Okay.
did have to like correct right away after I
Oh,
typed it
okay.
the first time.
Okay. So that's it. They can message me anytime. I mean, I love connecting. You guys heard me. I mean, this is uh, anytime you want to send a DM, a question, anything, I would love to hear from you. So I
That's
appreciate.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, you guys send some love out to Kelley. Make sure to review this in iTunes. Let us know how it affected you. Possibly leave how you're going to be a champion in your own life and what changes you're going to make after listening. That would be your commitment. And I just want to thank everybody so much for listening and sharing and reviewing. Um, I didn't expect for our podcast to be in the top 200 on iTunes when I was flat on my back during
Yay.
hamstring surgery, but that did perk up my spirits. So I just want to thank everyone for being a part, because this is all about you guys, and we love you so much. Thanks, everybody. And thank you, Kelley, so much.
Thank you, Linda. And it was so much fun.